The world we live in is full of wonders, yet there are still mysteries that defy explanation. Despite all of our technological advances and historical discoveries, some secrets remain hidden, perhaps for good reason. There are places and phenomena so unsettling that it makes you wonder if we were ever supposed to witness them. From eerie natural occurrences to man-made disasters with lasting effects, these are the kinds of things that leave us questioning the unknown. Today, we're uncovering 10 things humans were never meant to see. 1. The Ghost Army of World War II. During the chaos of World War II, one of the most fascinating military operations was the creation of the Ghost Army. This secret unit consisted of artists, designers, actors, and sound engineers who played a crucial role in deceiving the enemy. Their mission wasn't to fight, but to create illusions that confused and misled the German forces. Instead of tanks and artillery, their weapons were inflatable replicas. They used rubber decoys of M4 Sherman tanks, jeeps, and even entire artillery units, which from a distance appeared to be real. But the deception didn't stop there. Sound engineers created recordings of moving tanks, bustling soldiers, and heavy equipment, amplifying these noises through loudspeakers to make it seem as though large troop movements were happening. Even more impressive were their fake radio transmissions, deliberately designed to be intercepted by the Germans. These false communications further misled enemy forces, convincing them that Allied troops were gathering in areas far from the real battlefields. The Ghost Army's deceptions were so convincing that they caused the Germans to redirect their resources and make strategic mistakes, ultimately aiding the Allies' efforts. The Ghost Army's operations remained classified for decades, but their ingenuity and creativity are now recognized as vital to the war effort. 2. The Danakil Depression. The Danakil Depression in Ethiopia is one of the most extreme and inhospitable places on Earth. Situated over 100 meters below sea level, it is one of the hottest places on the planet, with temperatures often exceeding 50 degrees Celsius, that's 122 degrees Fahrenheit. The landscape is like something out of a science fiction novel, with vibrant sulfur fields, bubbling acid ponds, and vast salt flats stretching as far as the eye can see. This harsh environment is not only brutally hot but also dangerous. The acid ponds, for example, are so caustic that they can burn through skin, while the sulfur fumes can be toxic if inhaled. Despite the extreme conditions, the area is home to unique microorganisms that thrive in its hostile surroundings, showing just how resilient life can be. Local Afar people have lived near the depression for centuries, mining salt from the region's vast flats, a practice passed down through generations. For these communities, the unforgiving landscape is both a challenge and a vital source of livelihood. The Iron Man diving suit. In the early 20th century, deep-sea diving technology was still in its infancy, but inventors like Captain Enos B. Petrie were already pushing the boundaries. One of his most ambitious creations was the Iron Man diving suit, a bulky, fully metal suit designed to protect divers from the dangers of the deep. Unlike the lighter, canvas suits of the time, this heavy metal armor offered superior protection against sharp objects and aggressive marine life. However, the suit had its downsides. Its rigid, square design made movement difficult, and divers using it had to be tethered to the surface for an oxygen supply. While it provided increased safety, it also restricted mobility, making it harder for divers to navigate underwater. Though primitive by today's standards, the Iron Man suit represents an important step in the evolution of diving technology. 4. Toby, the two-nosed dog. Meet Toby, the dog with an unusual and rare genetic trait: two noses. While it may seem bizarre, Toby is part of a small group of dogs that are born with a split nose, a characteristic seen in certain rare breeds like the Andean tiger hound. This breed hails from South America and was historically used for hunting due to its keen sense of smell. Some believe that the split nose enhances the dog's ability to pick up scents, although this theory remains unproven. What's clear, however, is that this unique trait has captured the attention of dog enthusiasts and researchers alike. Despite his unusual appearance, Toby is just like any other dog, playful, loyal, and lovable. 5. Underwater nuclear tests. The Cold War era was marked by intense competition between global superpowers, with nuclear testing being one of the most dangerous aspects of this rivalry. One of the most infamous sites for such tests was Bikini Atoll in the Pacific, where the United States conducted numerous underwater nuclear detonations. These tests produced shockwaves that obliterated marine life and sent towering waves crashing into observation ships positioned nearby. But the immediate destruction wasn't the only consequence. The radioactive fallout contaminated the surrounding water, leading to what's known as radioactive rain. This toxic precipitation poisoned both the ocean and nearby land, causing long-term environmental damage. Even worse, many of the indigenous communities living near these test sites were exposed to dangerous levels of radiation, resulting in severe health issues, including cancer and birth defects. The legacy of these tests is a reminder of the devastating power of nuclear weapons and the lasting impact they can have on both people and the environment. 6. The Mutant Cow. In a rural area of Argentina, something strange happened. A calf was born with facial deformities that made it resemble a human. Its large eyes and prominent mouth shocked local farmers, many of whom were horrified by the sight. According to experts, the calf's appearance was the result of a rare genetic mutation that affected the development of its skull. Although this calf's life was short-lived due to its deformities, it sparked conversations about the role of genetics and mutations in livestock. While such anomalies are rare, they serve as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of biology. 7. The shadow experiment. One of the most chilling remnants of the nuclear age is the phenomenon known as nuclear shadows. During the testing of nuclear weapons, intense bursts of radiation and heat would incinerate everything in their path, leaving behind eerie shadows on walls and pavements where objects or people had been standing. One such experiment involved Louis Slotin, a Canadian physicist who was tragically killed during a nuclear test. Though the exact cause of his death remains debated, the shadow left by his body in the wake of the blast serves as a haunting reminder of the destructive power of nuclear weapons. 8. The Elephant's Foot, Chernobyl. In the aftermath of the Chernobyl disaster, one of the most infamous byproducts of the meltdown was a massive formation of radioactive material known as the elephant's foot. This molten mass of nuclear waste formed after the reactor exploded, and its eerie shape resembled the foot of an elephant. When it first formed, it was so radioactive that just being near it for a few minutes would cause death. Even today, the elephant's foot remains dangerously radioactive, though its potency has diminished over the years. It stands as a grim symbol of one of the worst nuclear disasters in history. 9. Soldiers confronting concentration camps. After the conclusion of World War II, the full scope of the atrocities committed in Nazi concentration and extermination camps began to emerge. As these horrors came to light, German soldiers who had been involved in the war were sometimes brought face to face with the horrific results of their actions, particularly regarding the systematic persecution and murder of millions of Jews. These confrontations were powerful and often sobering, with many soldiers showing shock, disbelief, or shame as they were forced to witness the gruesome reality of what had occurred. For some, it was a stark realization of the human cost of their complicity in the Nazi regime. Yet while these moments may have stirred a sense of remorse in a few, it's important to look at the Holocaust within the broader context of World War II. The war was driven by a complex web of causes, including nationalism, territorial ambitions, and economic instability. However, none of these factors can ever justify the horrors of the Holocaust, the planned and systematic extermination of 6 million Jews, alongside millions of other marginalized groups. The Holocaust stands as one of the darkest chapters in human history, and the reactions of the soldiers forced to confront it only highlight the unimaginable suffering endured by its victims. 10. Snake Island, Brazil. Ilha de Queimada Grande, better known as Snake Island, is located off the coast of Brazil and is home to one of the most deadly snakes in the world, the golden lancehead viper. These snakes are so venomous that a single bite can kill a human in less than an hour. The island is so dangerous that the Brazilian government has forbidden anyone from visiting, except for a select few researchers. Local legends tell stories of early inhabitants being killed by the snakes, but the reality is likely less dramatic. The snakes were stranded on the island thousands of years ago due to rising sea levels, and over time they evolved into a lethal population. The world is full of the unexplained, and while curiosity drives us, some things are better left in the shadows. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe. Until next time.